the dismantling of the once proud Boston Celtics continuing. The super team, remember when they won the championship a couple years ago? It was, oh, man, this team is set up for years to come. They are so explosive. They have an amazing amount of depth on this team. Well, not anymore. So one day after they said bye-bye to the Holiday, as they sent Drew Holiday to basketball purgatory with the Trailblazers, the deals kept coming. The Green team, which is ironically making trades because of Green. And if you have not been following along here, maybe not, we have learned that Kristaps Porzingis, affectionately known as the Unicorn, has been traded. Bye-bye, as he's going to the ATL. And he'll enjoy Magic City there. And the Atlanta Hawks have acquired a Unicorn. How magical. Along with a second-round pick, part of a three-team trade. Not a mega trade. Not a mega trade, but a three-team trade. So it's Porzingis. No, there will be a test on this coming up in a moment. So Porzingis has been traded to the Hawks along with a second-round pick. And then Terrence Mann, there goes that man, a former Clipper, Terrence Mann. He goes from Atlanta and the number 22 pick in the draft, which is tonight, to the Nets for someone named Georges Niang, who goes to Boston, and a second-round pick. That is what the Celtics got for Porzingis. So let us discuss the question. Who got the better of this three-team Kristaps Porzingis trade? He's the headliner, so he's the one people know who he is, so we'll use him in the description. So who got the best or better, if you will, of the three-team Kristaps Porzingis trade? My thoughts on this, I've got a Pringles can, Midway, and dashboard. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make the Baba Ganoush. We're going to make the Baba Ganoush. Now, to answer the question, who got the better of this particular transaction, is it A, the Celtics, B, the Atlanta Hawks, C, the Nets, one of those options? How about answer D? None of the above. None of the above, right? Now, if you had to force me, gun to the head, to pick a team, because why not? You're really going to threaten someone's life over this trade. But if that's the case, man, I trying to make sense of this. So Porzingis, he goes to Atlanta. This is not really a trade, because a trade, you're doing quid pro quo, right? You get something, you get something, you get something. That's not it. This is more like a yard sale where you're giving away, you have this vintage leather recliner. The leather's kind of worn out a little bit, but it's like your favorite chair. You're giving it away, and because your wife forced you to get rid of it, and you're getting in return a half-eaten Pringles can, and that's what you're getting. You're giving your favorite chair away, and that's it. It's slop for garbage. So slop for garbage, that's the trade. And on the Maller report card, the Atlanta Hawks get a C-, a C- for the Atlanta Hawks. The Nets get the D. And I give the Celtics a D also. So the edge is to Atlanta, but only because they got the one guy we've heard of in Porzingis in this trade. When he is upright, which is very rare, Porzingis is not upright very often. When he is upright, he's pretty good. He's a pretty good player when he's upright for the 30 games a year that he plays and all that stuff. So you got that. And he can stretch the floor. That's what he did in Boston when he played, when they won the championship. And he can protect the rim occasionally when he decides to play some defense. And it was a good fit with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown in Boston. Allowed them to do their thing and did not impede what they were doing. And so that's the rub. The Unicorn, as he is known, the Unicorn, the medical chart, if you look at it, it's literally longer than those CVS receipts. Like, have you ever checked out back in the day in CVS? They used to print out these massive receipts. Now, on cue, Porzingis, his final act as a Boston Celtic was this mysterious post-viral syndrome thingamajig, the whatchamacallit. They didn't know what it was and all that stuff. Was it long COVID? Was it the creeping crud? Was it something else? Nobody seems to know. But he could play sometimes, and he couldn't play other times. And remember one of those playoff games when he got all bloodied. I think it was against the Knicks, and looked like a boxer that was a tomato can. And then he came back into the game, and he had a big bandage on his forehead and all that stuff. But anyway, that's Porzingis. He goes to Atlanta. Now, the other part of this, as we do our frame-by-frame breakdown on the Ben Maller Show. So how do you process the part of this which is really surprising? It shouldn't be surprising. It would have been surprising 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. It would have been surprising. But how do you process the Celtic supporters, the Marching and Chowder Society of the Boston Celtics, who seem to be celebrating the cap relief from the Porzingis trade? So this is one of those things where I don't get it. I didn't grow up in that era where you celebrate this. I don't understand that mindset. To me, that is redonkulous. Maybe you can explain it to me. I look at it like a trip to the Circus Midway. It's a fun house of mirrors is what it is, right? You throw a parade. Let me get this right. So you're happy. You're excited because your team, which you don't work for, you're just an outside observer. It's not like you're on the payroll and you get more money because the owner has more money, but you're happy because the Celtics ducked the second apron. So I guess like being at a kitchen and you have a lot of aprons, and so they ducked the second apron. So this is what the Boston fan base has become, that they feel this is a giant win because their owner saved some money. And I have no skin in the game. This makes me want to puke in my mouth is what this is. I mean, come on. You talk about some kind of warped, distorted, like that's your reality? I mean, that's your representation of reality. Like, this is a great thing. You know, you're going to pump your fist in the air everywhere because of luxury tax avoidance. Like, you got nothing in the trade. I mean, just Porzingis, you gave him away, so he's hurt, that's fine. But you got nothing for him. And he was, when he played, a pretty good player for you. And you're all horny because the Celtics, the nerds cooked up the numbers here, and they said, well, the payroll and tax for the new incoming Celtic ownership there, it's down from $512 million to $274 million. And so they said that's a big thing. Now, that means the two trades, the Holiday trade and the Unicorn trade, saved the Celtics about $238 million. The ownership of the Celtics, $210 million coming from purely tax penalties. So, again, if you're the owner of the Celtics and you're excited, it's great. I get it. If you work for the team, hey, more money for the owner. Maybe that money will come to me. If you're not an employee and you don't own the team, like, I don't understand the dynamic. I really don't get it. Like, if your biggest offseason transaction is that, hey, we saved $210 million in tax penalty as a fan, like, how does that help you? Like, I really don't get it. Right? Congratulations, way to go. Whee! You saved some tax money. The team is plausibly worse, but you saved some tax money, and way to go. Right? It's like you're cheering for a hedge fund. Not so much a basketball team at that particular point, but what do I know? So the Celtics appear to be, now that Tatum's hurt, they have the green light. If Tatum, they would have done this likely even if Tatum hadn't gotten hurt, because they were going to lose to the Knicks anyway. However, they did in this part of the multiverse. They did. So the Celtics are like empty nesters without Jason Tatum, the Achilles injury, and so they have decided now they are going to downsize to a little casa out in the woods, and that's what they're doing. They're downsizing, and the fans are applauding, or at least some of them are applauding this because the owners saved some dough. It's like wowie kazowie here. What are you doing here? It's not basketball. It's bookkeeping. It's like, okay, is the team better? No, his team's not better, but we saved some money. Okay, but is the team? Have you improved the team? No, we haven't improved the team. The team's not, but we saved some money. Okay. Are they going to have a bobblehead night with a bag of money that bobbles and be like, hey, this is the money that we saved. We would have had to pay the $210 million. It's a special promotion for the Celtics. It's money bobble night. He'll have Uncle Sam bobblehead or whatever. So anyway, all right, now the last word. To Dallas we go. Now the Mavericks are on the clock. They have the top pick in the draft. The Mavericks guard Kyrie Irving declined his contract option. You see this? Turned down $43 million, said Ixnay on the money A. Instead, he opted out and then said, all right, psych, I'll stay. And so the Mavericks, because they don't know what they're doing, they gave Kyrie Irving a 3-year contract extension for $119 million. $119 million. The deal includes a player option for 2027, 2028, so a couple years down the line. Irving is what's known as DG, damaged goods. He's damaged goods. He tore his ACL, snap, crackle, pop, back in March, and so he's damaged. Does it surprise you? Here's the question. Does it surprise you that the Mavericks and the great Nico Harrison have forked over this kind of contract to Kyrie Irving? So I'm going to nod my head yes, realizing we're talking about Nico Harrison. I'm going to nod my head yes. Dallas did not just double down. They didn't just double down on this. They tripled down, and then they slipped a disc in their back while doing it with Kyrie Irving. I mean, it's the only way to describe it here. ACLs are supposed to be the flashing check engine light on the dashboard of the car. Like if you take a car for a drive and the dashboard light comes on, there's a problem with the engine. Do you still buy the car? Right? They had the car already. They knew there was a problem, and they said, okay, we want the car. We'll pay. In fact, we'll pay a premium price for the car. That's what we'll do. I know the check engine light is flashing on the dashboard. We want the car, so we'll still pay for the car. Normally that doesn't happen. At least it used to not happen. I know it happens quite a bit now, or especially in basketball. Guys are hurt. They still sign these massive contracts. But the Mavericks, they see torn ligament in the knee, and they're like, all right, how fast can we grab the checkbook? Here you go. Blank check. Knock yourself out. And so Kyrie's got the double whammy against him. Strike one is the shredded ligaments in the knee, so he's got that going for him. He's also 33, which in the real world is not old, but in the sporting world, your athletic prime ends at age 32. So using Maller math, if you're 33, you're past your athletic prime. He's guaranteed to miss, Irving, almost all the first half of this upcoming season, assuming there are no bugaboos with his comeback. He's going to be out until at least January, so forget about October, November, all those months, December, see you later, out. So he could come back sometime in January of 2026. His knees have, over the years, put up more DNPs than conspiracy theories, which it was neck and neck. He's toned down. I'm sure he's still into the wacky conspiracy theories, but he's not talking about them as much anymore. And so here we are. Here we are watching the Nico Harrison, who somehow kept his job as the Maverick executive, the Nico Harrison experience. And he signs a deal with the Mavericks, Kyrie, like Nico Harrison's buying beachfront property in a resort in Hawaii, and really it's like a rundown shack. It's got some miles on it, needs more than just paint, more than cosmetic at this point. Now, when Kyrie has played, he plays often like it's poetry. It's a problem. Well, he doesn't play very much. Another one of these guys, a lot of mileage, and the injury charts are rather large there for him as well, and so it ain't my problem. I'm not a Maverick guy. That's guys like Charlie in Dallas and those guys. That's their problem. Ain't my problem.